All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:32. It is May 16th. It is Thursday. Hopefully everyone's feeling well. This is a very telling song. Don't go chasing waterfalls, right? What you got to do is have a strategy, a process, and entries and exits matter. Process matters. Take a look at the disclosure. Let's get to it. All right. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer. Oh, hey, here's the part. Here it comes. I don't know if I'm dating myself. That's like from 1990 something or other, TLC. All right, guys. As I said earlier this week, stock market isn't a laughing matter. You know, people make a lot, people lose a lot. You know, for those who, act like they, have a strategy and a process and have been doing this for 25, 30 years when they've only been doing it for a few, it's not how you're going to make money. Okay. The stock market's not gambling. It's not a casino. It's a place for you to put money away long term so you could retire someday comfortably, maybe put money away for a 529 for college. And also, if you have a strategy and process, which takes time, effort, and discipline, you can make money for a living if you get paid monthly and quarterly. Anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. You guys take a look at the chart while we're sitting here. You know, that is the S&P cash at an all-time high. Let me say hello to some of my dogs. What up, EK? What up, Nikolovich? What up, Don? What up, Bob? What up, Ryan? What up, Sam? What up, Blair? How you doing? What up, Ali? See, I love seeing the same people coming in, working on their process, tuning in. It's 6:30 in the morning. It's definitely, people here from all around the world, so it could be whatever time. The bottom line is this. We focus on the market on multiple time frames. We try and as we get older, I'm 51, I'm getting to be the old dog, combined with the red dog. I've been doing this since 1997, and I evolved too. And I've had shitty years, and I've had consistent years, and I've questioned myself. I've, done things that I've tried to learn from, and that's what we do. So anyway, with that being said, let's talk real quickly, and then I'm not going to talk about it again. The Blood on the Street account, which is one of my 9 accounts that I developed in the past 20 years when my wife worked at UMD&J. She put money in every single month, and then she went to private practice, and then she was no longer allowed to put money in. So with that, I am cute. Since I can't do money every single month like a 401k, a 529, or 403b that I don't care because I'm 51, I have told I'm 59, I have to time the market. So if you guys remember, earmarked on April 19th, or April right there, on the close, because I have to do it on the close. That's how Bright House does it. We got 49.67, which was, I wound up putting about a third in. And then yesterday at 53.11, because I have to do it on the close into strength, she sold it. She was really happy. Anyway, because especially after being on hold for 10 minutes to get her balance. Bottom line is, if you model a portion of your IRA or whatever you do longer term with that, you just made 300 plus handles. Congratulations. I'm not calling the top. The stock market can go up. This account is only for extreme situations. I buy it 5% or so into the whole one tier. And if we wind up going 9% off highs, 14% off highs, I add and then I take it off at all-time highs. That's the process. That's what I do. That's the discipline. She's back in a fixed rider until another time. So now let's go actively for a living. Okay, if you guys remember yesterday, we talked about the SPYs. I said if we get a CPI that's in line, that is market friendly, you could probably be a buyer. We could probably make a new high. You're probably going to see us take out 524. And yesterday we hit 530. Nice trade. Look at this sequence from the low. Remember this higher low post Fed? Then you had this wedge pattern where you could have been a buyer, long risk versus this spot versus this gap. Then you had a slight pause, thank goodness, because I know a bunch of us were overhedged. And I haven't been hedged since. I haven't put on a short since. Guess what? Today, I'll probably sell some premium above because we are a little bit overbought. We just went from 520 to 530 in 2 days. So I'll probably sell some like 533s, 535s. That's the way I'm going to do my portfolio approach. In my portfolio approach, when you're above the 8-day like we are, What do? I try and buy dips. I try and add to great patterns, and I try and trim into some strength and manage it until it changes. So here is the alpha team. These are my dogs. We're up early, and basically they get to watch what I put on, what I take off. Apple's been a great trade. Another strategy, pro earnings gap. What my friend Trader Stewie calls it, the peg play. It's been working, and it's been Apple, which gives you even more confidence. Obviously, NVIDIA, I spoke about literally, every day this week, talking about how if we get a CPI-friendly report, chances are you're going to see a really nice move. So for NVIDIA, look at this channel. Look at this bull flag on Saturdays. Every Saturday, I'm take 3 minutes and review your candlesticks, charts, and moving averages. Well, if you looked at the definition of a bull flag above the 8-day moving average, you could have been paid handsomely yesterday. I had the 925 calls on, the 950 calls on. I've trimmed over half of both. I'm in a little bit of stock, and we'll see, earnings next week. Do we kiss 974 prior or not? Manage the trade. But I have this chart up every single day, and it's free. You don't have to be a part of the alpha team. You don't got to be part of Redler All Access. You just got to be one of my dogs that participates in, the 630 club with me, and I try and throw you guys bones. But really, you can gnaw on those bones, but you have to really know why we're doing it. So one day, if Red Dog's not here, you could do it on your own. Love to teach you how to dig for them versus just throw them in your doghouse. So anyway, really nice. And if you remember yesterday, 24 hours ago, before I had to go in for a major test, I talked to you guys about AMD. I'm like, look at AMD. AMD looks as if it's going to be breaking this downtrend. Higher, low. Look at that trade. Now maybe trim some. Good job if you caught that. And if AMD and NVIDIA are on the move, let's connect the dots. What else? SMCI. SMCI, a lot of the guys caught this too. Look at that. Inside range, showed relative strength the day before. Higher, low. Boom. Right through a descending trend line, and it's up a little bit. So a lot to like. And then you have AVGO, which was already cheating higher. Okay, I posted this chart, I think on Monday. I'm like, you could be long versus 1288, never went below it, or you could add through 1344 or add through 1403 and probably see an all-time high. So I don't want to see complaining out there. Okay, I want to see strategy. I want to see process. I want to see you guys execute with confidence because you're getting up early and you're doing your homework. Yeah, that's what you got to do. No one's going to friggin' just throw things at you and give you things for free. Life's not about that. Anyway, with that being said, this is what we try and do. You guys want to look at Apple? Look, doesn't it look so easy after, right? You could have been a buyer of Apple. Verse 180.75. You could have even been a buyer versus this spot, got stopped out, and then reboarded here versus that. It was calculated, and now you had a nice little move for Apple. Okay, do I think 198, 199 gets taken out? Probably sometime over the summer or maybe in the fall. But either which way, as I said, for the past 3 months, if you're an investor in Apple, you don't care. You're making a ton of money. If you trade it actively and you're going to get paid in May or June, you better have a plan here. And the plan was 180s. And then I have to give it to my boy Fib right in here. He's like, Red Dog, why don't you buy the 190 calls for next Friday? So what are the 190 calls? We bought the 190 calls literally for next Friday when the stock was 187. Where are they on here? These are my options. The 190s for $1. I sold some at 240. That's Apple, 100%. No earnings. It's a post-earnings play. You don't always have to be in for an earnings play. Yes, do I have a little bit of I do have Baidu on. I wonder what's going to happen there. I have the 115s. I thought the report was pretty solid. Some people like Red Dog, are we going to make any money here? I don't know. Maybe. You have this 113 area. Really hasn't done a whole lot. I would think that if you get a gap up that holds, why can't it work towards 125? I just don't know how it's going to be treated. They're the AI of China. It did have a move off lows. You look at the weekly chart. It's not like it's friggin' so extended. It's right here on the weekly chart. Come on, friggin' Chinese, friggin' traders. You would think it can go up more than that. It was up $5, and now Baidu's up $2, not even $1.70. So we'll see what happens here. I have the 115s. Probably not going to get paid. We'll see. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But all in all, little bull flag above this DT line. You would think maybe we get an area to trade. And these Chinese names are so tough to trade anyway. They're a pain in the butt. But anyway, I did take some, and we'll see how it goes. As far as the meme trade, I told you guys 2 days ago. I'm like, when heavy volume comes in on Monday, actually, I told you, you could be a buyer. We were buying AMC at 350. I sold it all the way up to 11, and I tweeted to the public Twitter, I am done with it here. when a few others were just buying it. I'm like, what the hell are you guys buying it now for? Anyway, AMC, if you look at this chart, I mapped out this gap to be filled to 12, and it just came all the way back. The time you want to be a buyer is day one with heavy volume, and then you want to sell it and see. At this point, AMC is what? It's like, down 70 cents, right back to where it kind of started. Isn't that cute? Today, maybe it goes from red to green for a trade, but you're not sitting in this thing. That was the trade. As I said with GME also, everyone's like, oh, it's going to 200. I'm like, it started at 12. Okay. I'd be trimming into the 60s, and PS, it's back at 30. Anyway, this little game is probably close to over. This was where you wanted to be looking at the call sweeps, and then even in here, it held up. And then boom, 64, and now it's back to here. What's this little level here? 31. Maybe you get a few little knick-knack trades versus that. I'm sure there are going to be people who did buy it right, people who did pay in the 14, 18s and sell some, say, hey, maybe I could buy some back around 31, or something like that. Whereas now it's at 33 down 6. So here's the obsession. Okay. Every now and then you get some good trades here, but this is not how you make a living. Okay. Same way you could bet an over of a basketball game and it's a guess. You might win once. You don't win in the stock market. You have calculated plays. You define your risk. You try and stack them, pack them, and rack them so you can get paid monthly and quarterly. And there are, rules to the game. Day count rules, sell rules, charts. There's so much that goes into it. But anyway, let's just move on. What else do I think could go here? I don't know. I think that this Oracle, you could continue to buy Oracle in this bull flag, and at some point, Oracle is going to continue to the upside. I like that. I'm long that. I did sell my Microsoft calls yesterday. Probably goes towards 431. I think it's still acting really well. It's a pain in the butt sometimes, but it's above the moving averages. On Monday, my video was, it was my biggest position. It's not my biggest position anymore on Thursday, but we did kind of well there. Google's actually looking pretty good still. Google, if you remember, it came in. What day was that? Was that Tuesday? Or Monday? You had to buy the dip. I kind of added to it in here. I still have some options on. We'll see if it can work its way back towards 170, 470. There's some news out there that the EU is throwing some whatever on Meta. Meta's probably down a little bit. I bet you could buy that dip. Meta's down 230. So Meta gave you that fill the gap trade, right? What's the fill the gap trade? Well, post earnings, it made a gap to the downside. This was your gap, remember? And I said there could be a trade to fill that gap if it gets above 446. Well, you had that trade. Red dog reversal from 477, went below, reclaimed 462, closed well. If you're long this overnight, I understand. It makes sense. I'm not. What I might do is I might buy this little dip here. So I would say as long as it holds this little spot here and digest, I think you can continue to the upside. This is now gone. Netflix is looking interesting also. Gave you that gap trade too. Another name that kind of wasn't enough at the time, had a gap to the downside. And then once it got in the gap, you could have played for nice cash flow or even right down there. Now it's trying to rebuild to see if it can go higher. So you still have a lot of setups out there. That's what we look for. We look for setups, not tops. Anyway, what up, Biopharma? What up, Adam? Yeah, there's a lot of things. Amazon's been a pain in the butt. Amazon was, my biggest pain in the ass, this week. I guess when you have Jeff selling the world and Mackenzie selling the world and everyone who, these big dogs own literally almost 19% of the Amazon shares, and they're using it as their piggy bank and just selling it in programs. So it's muting the action while, commoners like us have to buy it. But again, not the end of the world. Look at the way Amazon looks. It just has a descending little trend, like a little bull flag. Had a big move to the highs. I did lose adding there, so I don't make money in every trade also. I'm not going to claim that I do because I don't. What's Amazon doing this morning? Up 50 cents. What's Netflix doing this morning? Up $1 and change. So we'll see how it goes. As far as somebody said, what's NVIDIA doing? It's up 4, 950-ish. The trade was yesterday when it took out 922. The trade was positioning in options prior to that. I wasn't here at the CPI, so I had to figure out how do I participate and not be able to pull use my keyboard, and that's what I did. Thank goodness, and it worked. So that this is still a decent setup. There's still setups out there. You look for the setups. You don't have to be in every one to make money either. I say that all the time. I say you don't have to be in 15 positions to net money to make a living. You have to have your go-to list and move them up and down. You have your A setups, B setup, C setup. Sometimes a setup is an A setup, and then it goes, and then it needs time. You move it down the list, and then you focus on other things that could potentially be good. Uh, WISA, that was a pain in the butt. I had a lot long yesterday. It stalled and reversed. And these little names, I do not give them a big rope to hang myself on. It's either they work or they don't work. And if they don't work, move on. You're better off playing quality names. With that being said, Biden's up $1.75. That's not great. I do think that Bitcoin is really interesting. Bitcoin is tight. I did buy the IBIT Monday. So I've been buying dips really well in with Bitcoin, I do have to say. And at some point, we'll be able to play for some kind of, momentum. There has been momentum in Bitcoin in a while. Bitcoin was the momentum master way back in the day. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin cleared this spot. So 67 is your next, kind of area of resistance. I would think at some point, I just don't know when, it's going to go back into this upper area. I was a buyer of IBIT in here. I trimmed some. I'm going to hold some. You take out 67,000 in Bitcoin, then your next real area is 71 to 73. And at some point, there are a lot of people saying, again, Bitcoin's going to 100,000. I'm like, okay, well, first thing it had to do is break above 65. Next thing it's got to do is break above 67. And then you have a void back up to the 71 to 73s. So with that being said, I'm in IBIT. Nice move yesterday. I bought it in here. That was great. It was nice. And now we'll see what happens in here. I'm probably going to take a day or two before it gets back to this 38, which was a sell. And now it could become not a sell. It could look like resistance. So charts change, and every day I'm up at 445 to redo the charts. So we'll see how it goes. So this was a nice move with a nice gap. Deer, I'm not trading Deer. Good luck. It's all yours. I can't be trading Deer and Caterpillar and all those. I can't be trading the XLE and all those while trading NVIDIA, AMD, SMCI, all those guys. There's not enough brain power. Red Dog just doesn't have enough brain power. What does the XLE look like, though? You guys want me to show you the XLE? XLE looks decent. XLE gave you a loose wide day right here to get out of the way. Then a ascending channel that broke, and now it's getting tight again. If you think this is something like Red Dog, isn't this like a cup and handle pattern? Here's your cup, broke above resistance. Now you have a handle right back into the prior area. Yeah, it looks all right. If you want to have some exposure there, I'm not so busy trading, the energy names just because they just don't trade clean to me. Instead of trading Chevron and XOM and this and that, I'll trade NVIDIA, SMCI, AMD, AVGO. I'll trade sometimes ARM, then your Microsoft, your Meta, your Netflix, your Apple. Just again, focus on a go-to list. Not too many. If you have too many names, you're not going to know what any of them are doing. You're never going to know when they look good and ready for you to grab a higher tier so you can make bigger money. Anyway, Tesla's a pain in the ass. Excuse my French. I do not trade it every day anymore. Some guys thought it was so great yesterday and it got rejected. Look at that candle. That's a pain in the butt. Tesla's giving us some trades. So I can't be so bad, on Elon. I had an option play that made me good money. Some were long versus here and got a lucky surprise. And then right here on this day is when I stopped trading it. This was the day that the market was strong. It was weak, kind of broke this spot. I'm like, you know what? It's just a pain in the butt. There's so many other things that trade better. And then yesterday it looked like it was going to get above this. And I know a lot of traders that instead of buying NVIDIA through 922 and sticking with that, they were buying a dip in Tesla, and they lost buying a dip in Tesla all day while NVIDIA had its day. So if you're like pissed off, oh my God, I traded Tesla instead of NVIDIA, you know what? It happens, But anyway, that's why, thank goodness, I'm not trading this. And you could say, hey, maybe you could be in a verse 173.11. For me, it's not that, it's just, it doesn't trade. I need stocks that trade by rules. Every now and then this thing has, some kind of the rules-based trading that I do. It was doing it for a while. It was acting well where if it closed strong, it opened up. If it closed weak, it opened down. If it showed relative strength at 945 and then futures were coming in and then went green, you got to push. To me, it's just, it's not as calculated, or it doesn't trade as well as it used to. It's a laggard. It's a laggard with poor fundamentals and a lot of hopium. I'd rather trade other things that are, doing better. But anyway, it's up to you. Reddit looks good. I haven't really traded Reddit. It was a new IPO came out, kind of push when all the meme stocks went. It's above the 8-day. It looks fair. Yeah, it's a new stock, I guess. I think Robinhood is interesting. Looks pretty decent. This was your spot for Robinhood. I haven't really been trading it much. I have some options left over in Robinhood. But again, I'm not getting too excited here. See maybe if it gets above this spot. And listen, guys, it's Thursday. It's 6:52. It's May 16th. Overall, listen, if you have a 401k, you put money in every single month. Okay, over 30 years, you're going to have a nice nest egg so you could be with your significant other and hopefully go to the mountains and the beaches and have a great time. If you have a son, start putting money in a 529, or a daughter, or a pronoun, whatever the hell it is. Sorry. But bottom line is they need to go to college, and hopefully you could pay for it by putting money away and not asking for a bailout from the government. I didn't mean that. And then if you trade for a living, you got to get up early. You got to have your charts. You have to have your process. You have to have your cheer system. You have to have your day count rules. You have to have your sell rules. You have to have something that you do every morning to make your mind right. Otherwise, you're never going to execute with confidence. And you could do this over time. And the bottom line is you want to feel good. If you don't feel good, you're just not going to execute, and you're not going to be in a good mood in order to, do your process. That's why every day I'm sitting here with music on. Let's see what's playing. Oh, I did a music video to this back in. I paid my way through college by dancing at bar mitzvahs and emceeing. That's why I get pissed off, when I hear about these bailouts with college. Because I was president of my fraternity at Albany, SUNY Albany, Sigma Nu. I friggin' would hang out all week in the business school and then go home on weekends and MC bar mitzvahs twice a month. One time I was working my ass off so friggin' hard that I actually rolled my car. I landed upside down, almost died because I was going home to MC bar mitzvah after a party at school, and I didn't die. Thank God somebody saved me. That's what a fortune teller told my mom. It's really actually a little emotional. But anyway, so for those that, go to school and take out loans, and you go to a school that costs $300,000 to $500,000, maybe you shouldn't be going to that school. Or maybe the school shouldn't be that expensive. And maybe if the freaking government didn't bail out student loans, they'd have to come down in price and you get a little bit of better equilibrium. But I'm not ranting, a little bit. So with that said, here's in the video. We'll see what happens. I would expect if it does get above yesterday's high of 948, which it's above, there's a little bit more room. This was your time to position. This was your time to get aggressive. Now it probably needs a day. And anyway, with that being said, I do speak the truth. I tell it like it is. I don't get along with the far, far left. I don't get along with the far, far right. I'd most likely get along with guys that have common sense, guys that control what they can control, that try and be a good community member, try and volunteer, try and give to some charities, and try and, speak up when you're supposed to, because some people can't. So I'll speak up when I think it's right. And if you guys want to, I block 10 people a day on Twitter. Anyone, not if you have a different opinion, but if you're an extreme jerk off, excuse my French, I don't need you in my life. Same thing with your friends, guys. If you have friends that are draining your energy, okay, and you're 40, 50 years old, get rid of those friends. Listen, you can put them on the back burner so you can't get rid of your family. And if they need you and something's extreme, you could be there for them. But if they're draining you every day, every week, every month, surround yourself with positive people, because life's way too short. I appreciate you. Have a good day, guys.